Hello, and welcome to another weekly reading. I have brought in some lavender oil for this week, good old faithful lavender oil to help us stay calm and carry on. We have definitely, for this month at any rate, undergone the most pressurizing parts of the month, particularly around the 17th to 20th there. So the last 2 weeks really held quite a lot for us. And now we are in a little bit more of a consolidating moment where we get to take it all in, sit with it for a bit, and prepare ourselves, because September is bringing us the first of our eclipses, and it'll be the first eclipse in a new sign. So we're overlapping our Aries Libra eclipses with Pisces Virgo eclipses. So this week we actually have a bonus card. So you choose your number between 1 and 4, and the bonus card will just be a little bonus extra for all of us. And remember, it's a collective reading, so it won't be about you personally. If you're wanting a reading that is for you personally, please do check out my link and get in touch with me if you would like to have that done. And in the meantime, this is a reading that helps us to, whenever we find it, even if it's out of the time of when this is being recorded for, it will have something for you. And that is the magic of these readings. So if something finds you at whatever time, there's something for you in that. Now, this week starts us off with the first quarter moon in Gemini. Last quarter moon in Gemini, apologize. And then we do have Venus changing signs from Virgo, where she can be a little bit persnickety, and into her own home sign of Libra, where it will be an opportunity to create some space for her where she can relax a little. So that should be comfortable, much more comfortable for us on a Venus front, and that will be on Friday. So let's jump into the cards. Okay, that is our main 4 cards, and here is our added bonus card that came out. So you will notice this one is a Page of Swords. So we have 2 major arcana cards, the Chariot and the Fool. We have a Pentacles card and a Swords card, and then a Court card with that Page of Swords. But we're going to look at the overall reading before we bring the Page of Swords into the reading. We start the reading with the Chariot card, number 7. This is a speedy card. So even though I have said this is a week of catching our breath and consolidating, we do need to recognize that there has been stuff that has been activated in the last week or two that has really accelerated something for us. And that may be something different it will be something different for each of us. There will be collective aspects of this for sure, but there will also probably be individual things. So it might be that the thing in your life that has just been stuck, maybe you've been stubbornly refusing to shift from it. Goodness knows I know that story, when you know you need to let something go and you just really, really don't want to, and so you stubbornly and doggedly hang on to it. And maybe something in that line has suddenly just cracked open, and suddenly there's this whoosh of forward momentum. The Chariot's very much about that forward momentum, especially in its upright form. You can see that there's 2 horses, a black one and a white one, so that symbolizes day and night, yin and yang, passive and active, shadow and light. And you can see that the Chariot driver doesn't even have any reins. Let's see if I can get him to focus there. He doesn't even have any reins. He's just it's a very intuitive card. So the best way to utilize this whoosh of forward momentum is not to get up in your head about it, to try and be a little bit more instinctual. Now, in Virgo season, that's a little bit of a double-edged sword in itself, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is almost ready to go direct. In fact, I think Mercury goes direct this week as well, which I didn't mention. I think it's the 28th that Mercury goes direct. Sorry, I forgot to check that before beginning this reading, but I think it's the 28th that he will go direct. But remember, there's a shadow period before a retrograde and after a retrograde. So the stationing direct will definitely bring partly this whoosh of movement. But what I wanted to say about Virgo season is Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury's been in this kind of backward motion, is still in this backward motion, and even though he changes direction, he's exceptionally reflective, because he's going for the 3rd time across the same ground that he covered. He went forward over it, then he went backwards over it, and then he'll turn this week and go back forward over that same space. So he's He's going to be relieved to be able to move fast because he prefers to move fast, does Mercury. But at the same time, there's this deep reflection of the area that he's had to re-travel and what that's brought up for him. And as Virgo is ruled by Mercury, what Mercury is currently doing is important. The sun is highlighting Virgo, and Virgo is a sign, because of its Mercury rulership, that is very intellectual. But unlike Gemini, Mercury's other sign, which is kind of just intellectual, Virgo has a very embodied, instinctual aspect. Virgo rules the gut. And so that's why people with strong Virgo tend to be abdominal issue people, or people as a child maybe carried anxiety and used to get a stomach pain with that. And as an adult, I would say. So here we're feeling in this card that we need to be instinctual and go with the flow, but we cannot negate the fact that Mercury puts us up in our head and makes us try to analyze things. And here the ideal would be if we could get out of analysis paralysis and into our gut instinct. That would be the more powerful, momentous space to be in for us now, if we want that motivation, movement, flow, trust, etc. Okay, then the Eight of Pentacles really talks about the time, the effort. I actually love this card for Virgo season as well, because she is a bit of a student, and she's put in a lot of work to hone her craft, and it's taken her time. See the moon phases, see those cycles, see that she has many notes there, see that she has all the elements represented in this card, even though Pentacles is the suit of Earth. And that there is a patience with her, because she knows, and she's actually looking at the Chariot card, she's not even getting out of the way of the horses, so to speak, because she knows that there are these moments of acceleration and then there's moments of stillness where we need to consolidate, which in effect is partly what this week is about, a consolidating week before our next new moon, which will start us on that eclipse cycle. So she's put in the work, she's done her time, she's prepared to be a student, and she has developed this level of mastery over her craft that she realizes is a slow and steady wins the race. So again, a bit of a hurry up and wait energy, which is not unfamiliar to us in recent months. Then we have the Fool card, and when we step into the Fool, it's the 0 card. It's the first card in the Major Arcana, and it is literally, we talk about that Major Arcana set of cards being the hero's journey, but we don't start a hero, we start a Fool. Because any absolutely new journey that we begin, we don't know enough about it. Think about the small child entering the world. It doesn't know yet how to use its hands, its body. It doesn't know yet how to speak. And every step along the way, we enter these things. We start our first preschool days, and we don't know what school is going to bring for us. We don't know what subjects we're going to like, or even how we'll learn them. We don't know yet how to read, etc. And that's something that just happens to us along our life a million different times in a million different ways. We're always at some point in some or other journey, oftentimes overlapping journeys. You could be at the beginning, the Fool within a new relationship, starting something new when you don't know yourself within that relationship. You don't know the other person yet, but maybe you're already quite far along in your studies or in your career path or whatever it may be. And when we get the Fool card, we know that something new is beginning, something new has begun. And this card always reminds us that we have all the tools we need. She's got the stick, she's got the crystal, and she's taking this kind of like trust fall, a leap of faith, so to speak. And she is falling into that flower of life, or actually that might be the seed of life. Anyhow, that sacred geometric symbol where it's like, I just have to trust that the net will catch me if I fall. And the net does, but obviously when we can't see the net, which is obviously true for all of us in these moments in our life, we can't see the net. And so being somewhat attached to feeling in control, which is true for most of us, we sometimes can't do that trustful. And this comes to trusting the universe, trusting God, whatever word you want to use for that higher power, trusting that there is a grand design and that You are always held and supported. And even if I can say that with conviction, I know that in these moments I struggle myself to let go and do the trust fall. So, this accelerated chariot moment is saying hold on to what you've already studied, whether that is a self-study, whether that is your career, whether that is how you've learned how to be within your relationships, because something has been let go of and something new is beginning, and it can feel very out of control, like these galloping horses working at warp speed, and this trustful that is required. I am not in control, but I still have my tools and my skills that I have worked hard on. It doesn't matter if I start something anew, I don't lose what I've learned. And here again, 10 of Swords, we have to walk away from something. We have to let go of something. And the traditional version of this card is rather intense. It's a person lying on their front with 10 swords in their back. I far prefer this version of it, where there is a feeling, a sigh of surrender. And she's walking off into the sunset knowing that it's time to let something go. She's no longer going to be a slave to a pattern or to a belief or to a societal indoctrination or to an old paradigm. Take your pick. What is it that you no longer want to be a slave to? And even though it's kind of easier for us so often, better the devil we know, we actually crave what we know, even if what we know is not good for us. We crave it, and we will very easily, our brains and our egos are much more comfortable. And this is a swords card. It's a brainy card. It's an air card. Even though it may be bad for us, we will often just stay in the bad because we know it. And those patterns, they really take a lot of effort for us to break. And then we bring in that bonus card, which I absolutely love, because the bonus card is a page, and pages herald new beginnings. And this is a very Gemini card. And remember, I mentioned this was a last quarter Gemini moon. So it closes off a 2.5-year cycle, but we won't get into that. And it is very much about bringing in new ideas and new information. And she's so caught up in this kind of imaginal world. She's reading, she's got the light bulb balloons, the birds swooping around her. You can see all the energy flow that there is in this card. Focus it in. And she's balancing on a beam and just very much kind of in all sorts of places. So you won't always know where those ideas are going to come from. You won't always know where your dreams are moving in a direction to. But again, it's like a fall, trust fall, walk away from, and know that there is something happening here. There is this acceleration towards a new beginning, but trust what you've already learned. You don't lose it. And be open, be curious. That's another great Gemini word. Be open and curious to the new ideas and new world that you are creating for yourself and indeed for us all. Thank you for your time. Have a beautiful week, and your likes, shares, follows, and subscribes are very much appreciated.